The greatest curse of science started in the year 1672, when a young boy who was supposed to be a mathematical genius, whose name is René Descartes, in France, proclaimed to the world, cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. So he said, there is nothing beyond that. I think, therefore I am. Nobody created me. I am created because I think. But where was he to think before he was created? He never answered that question. Nobody ever answered that. But this was taken as dividing the thinking part, what they call the mind, and the other part into two separate things. So mind was divided from matter. Did you get that? The first division of mind and matter, or the first division of this universe, started in the 17th century, early part of 17th century. Right from that day till 2012, science cuts this world into bits and pieces. But this science died nearly 87 years ago, to be very precise, in 1925, when a great scientist, whom your textbooks describe as the greatest scientist and the greatest brain, etc., etc., his name is Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein was teaching in the Zurich Polytechnic, and in the class was sitting a young boy. 1925 was the year. The boy's name was Werner Heisenberg. He was just about 24 years old, and he got up in the class and said, "Sir, you are talking through your hat. What science you are describing is not science at all, and you are wrong." Can you believe what happens to a student who gets up in the class of a Nobel laureate physicist, taking the class on relativity theory, and telling him in the class, open class, that you are wrong? Have you ever experienced that? If your son or daughter were to tell the professor, a great professor in the class, that you are wrong, what would happen to that? The boy became an outstanding student. You know outstanding? Standing outside the class. For how long? For 25 years. Year was 1925. Einstein died in 1955. For 30 years, Werner Heisenberg was an outcast for science. And it's in the year 1956, Werner Heisenberg gets his Nobel Prize. The only Nobel Prize worth its weight in not gold and diamond, worth the gold in the whole world. But that is what changed science completely. Where he said, certainty, reality. We talk about reality. Oh, reality in this world is like that. What is reality? There is nothing called reality. The world has no permanence at all. Did you understand that? To understand it is difficult. World has no permanence at all. World is Maya, in the words of Shankara, which is absolutely scientific even today. And the greatest scientist after Werner Heisenberg was a man called Hans Peter Dior, who recently we had brought him to Chennai, and Karthikeyan Sab was there to listen to him. And Hans, who became the director of the Max Planck Institute after Werner Heisenberg, when Albert Einstein died, Hans found out that matter and energy are the two faces of the same coin. In other words, there is nothing called matter, it's all energy. So, which means now science has come to think of a different thinking. So far science says, I am an observer, you are the observed. What do they do in science? The scientific thinking, scientific research till now has been to look at an object and cut it from you. Newton, we say, is a great scientist. He was calculating the movement of the planets. And while he was calculating the movement of the planet, what he did not take into consideration is his own movement. As he was measuring, he was moving, which he did not take into consideration. So all Newton's laws of the world, Newton's laws of various things, are not accurate if you go to the smaller and smaller levels. Well, Newton's laws are all right for flying a plane, building a bridge, or building a building. But when you come to the subtleties of life, what really matters is matter and energy are the same. In short, there's a nice word in German language for this. Word is called Wirklichkeit. Wirklichkeit is simply meaning a drama. This whole world is a drama. Now I see all of you That is reality, right? You all agree with me that you all exist? Yes. Now I close my eyes. What is the reality? None of you exist. Now I look separate from you. But if you really look at it and I close my eyes, we all are energy. Tree is energy. And each one of these energies have frequencies, different frequencies. Like for example, you have your mobile phone. You ring up a particular number. The electromagnetic energy here vibrates something in the universe, which scientists call as ether. But in fact, there is no ether. It is just a vacuum. So there is a vacuum. The minute the vacuum gets the vibration, the energy changes into ripples. Within seconds, your friend in San Francisco or London or in your house or in UP, the same vibration goes to his mobile phone, which converts that again into electromagnetic energy, and his phone rings. Now in the human system or in this universe, there is something else where you don't even have to have this electromagnetic energy. I sit here and seriously think of Peter. I say, I must now talk to Peter. Something very urgent. If I don't talk to him, there's some disaster going to happen. But I can't contact Peter at all. Peter is not reachable on the phone or by anything. You would be surprised. Within minutes or seconds, you get a message from Peter, either as an email or as a call, or he will come and see you. This is called teleportation. Teleportation is a new concept in physics, which is transfer of information from one end to another end, irrespective of the distance, without any communication facilities like a wire, wireless, telephone, radio, or television. In the human body, the same thing happens. Let us say, now I suddenly pull out a pistol and aim at you. You didn't expect me to have a pistol. So I have a loaded pistol, aim at you. The minute I aim at you, you will be surprised. If you look at your underwear, you already pissed there. You're so frightened that I'll kill you. Now, in our conventional science of reductionism, how we explain that? The light goes to the retina. Retina then stimulates the posterior cortex. Then it goes down the nerves and it goes to your bladder and the bladder relaxes. It takes time. No. Gun shown, you piss. Your bladder relaxes. Because it is teleportation. What you see here gets converted into every cell of your body. I will come to the fact now. What is matter? Human body is only energy. We have been treating human body as a machine with different chemicals. No, human body is a machine, but it has no matter inside. It is energy. Today, we can photograph a human body because every single atom in your body sends out a photon beam. So we have a camera called the biophoton camera. We can catch it. And when you catch it, we can show you that you are a happy colony of trillions and trillions and trillions of individual human beings. They are called your cells. And they're jumping about. They're all energy waves. And they're so happy that they dance in synchrony. Just as these girls now danced, inside you, every second, 50 trillion people are dancing. When they're unhappy, you get illness. So what is happiness? Happiness is a state where you don't hate nobody. That's why I always tell Peter, Anandame Arogyam. Health comes from happiness. And happiness is not a mirage. A lot of us think, I'll be very happy when I become the director of agriculture. Or I'll be happy when I become the Prime Minister of India. I'll be happy when I get married. I'll be happy when I build a house. Or I'll be happy when I get my daughter married. No. Find out, are you happy now? If you're not happy, you're not going to be happy anytime. If you're not happy now, you obviously are in conflict with someone else. Always ask yourself, why am I not happy? You must have some idea in your mind which is going about and making you unhappy.